Barabara kabisa mpenzi mtazamaji, bila shaka hii ni KDR TV na karibu kwenye taarifa zetu za kila siku. Jina langu ni Omari Musa. Naam, Rais wa taifa la Korea Kusini, Mheshimiwa Yoon Suk Yeol, amkaribisha Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa William Ruto kwenye jiji kuu la Seoul. Viongozi hao wanatarajiwa kufanya mazungumzo juu ya biashara, uchumi na ulinzi. Na hebu moja kwa moja hadi jijini Seoul tupate jinsi Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto alivyokaribishwa na kiongozi mwenza.
How are you? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. Welcome to Kenyans. How are you? Thank you. Sure, are you? Thank you very much. Yes. Mr. President, Angola. From Angola? Yes. Okay, I was with your vice president in Coke. Oh, yeah. President Angola. Okay, hello. How are you? Nice to meet you. The Zuma was with that president. Ramaphosa was in that recently. Oh. Yes. He has been absent from one. Okay, hello. How are you? Okay, how are you? Okay, hello, how are you? Thank you very much. This is both Korea and Kenya. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. We'll see you. Alfie. How are you? Very good. Hello. How are you? Very good. Hello. Hello. How are you? Yes. Okay. Hello. How are you, my dear?
Miss Park, Margaret Matura, that is Miss Kim, Finance Assistance. This is Lynette.
Very good.
This is
How are
she
you?
helps people stay and tidy. This is Miss Lavon, who is our driver.
Very good.
This is Jude, he is our intern.
How are you?
This is Mario, also our driver.
Naam, Rais William Ruto akiwa nchini Korea Kusini amepata nafasi ya kuzungumza na Wakenya wanaoishi nchini humo, huku akiwaeleza sababu yake kuu ya kuizuru taifa hilo la Korea Kusini. Naam, moja kwa moja hadi Korea Kusini jijini Seoul tupate jinsi Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto alivyoeleza Wakenya wanaoishi nchini humo sababu yake kuu ya kuizuru taifa hilo la Korea Kusini.
Within the next 6 months, our telcos, Safaricom, Airtel, Telecom Kenya, Jamii Telecom, they have come together to produce the first truly Kenyan handset. Yeah. We are trying to go MTN of South Africa and Vodacom of South Africa into that project, so that it does not become just a Kenyan phone, but Kenya becomes the home of a truly African phone. We mean business, and we are going to reverse this trend. I want the next time we have this kind of bilateral meetings, I don't want to ask my president to come and unlock the imbalance of trade between Kenya and South Korea that favors South Korea. I want to hear South Korea minister asking their president, please ask these Kenyans to come slowly. Sasa.
One of the things that we'll be doing, and that's part of the diaspora affairs, and we're working with the other colleagues of trade and agriculture and health and others, is to ensure that Kenyans are taken care of. That is why we'll have a trade office in the embassy that will be able to handle your issues in terms of importation, in terms of regulations, in terms of being able to open businesses and be able to support you. If you need letters so you can get credit in Kenya, we'll be able to write those letters. Because if you're making money here, it's good for you as a Kenyan, but it's also good for everybody else who is in Kenya. Because you'll be able to remit money and we'll be able to gather those goods here. One of the things that we are doing is that we are adding value to our products. So when we sell coffee, we don't want to sell raw coffee that comes here and then it's processed and then sent to the rest of the world. We'd like to sell coffee here that has already had value addition. It's already processed. South Korea buys flowers. They love flowers. They have flowers everywhere, you know. But the flowers they buy here are from Kenya, but they are stamped made in England. Because they go to England and then they are brought here. We take our flowers to England, then they come here. The rest of the world, we went to other places, flowers are taken to Netherlands and then they're taken to other parts of the world. We want to be able to sell our flowers directly. Zinachunwa asubuhi kule Naivasha, by jioni ziko hapa, so that we maximize on the money without the middlemen. And that's some of the things that Moses Kuria and Agriculture Minister that will be sitting down with their counterparts to discuss some of these things. Let's open up the markets for our people. And then the Kenyans can actually be importing the flour directly from Kenya. Sio ni mzuri hiyo? Together with other products. We're also working on a program for M-Pesa. If you want to send M-Pesa home, we want to work on a program so that you can actually use your numbers here and be able to M-Pesa straight home without money being lost in there. That M-Pesa system, pesa ile nyingi inabakia mfukoni.
Our Kenyan coffee is one of the best coffees in the world, and most of the coffee taken out or taken all over is blended by the coffee. We bring coffee here, then it's sold, it's used to blend other coffee, and then we can get it back at very exorbitant prices. One thing I want to tell you that I'm aware of is that Korea has very good market for coffee. My predecessor somehow missed the export market for coffee here in Korea, because there is a trend that there are people that came from Korea all the way to Kenya, and they went to my own county, Meru, where they had serious discussions with people from Meru Cooperative Union, and their agreement was to have direct export for coffee in this particular country. But the necessary instruments or requirements that we were supposed to have done, somehow that did not take place, and I'm ready and willing to fast track that process to ensure that we have our coffee coming here to Korea, so that you people will have the best coffee around. And secondly, we will be able to get a better price for coffee for our farmers that are doing it in Kenya.
What you have done today by making this trip at the invitation of His Excellency President Yoon marks a journey that is going to transform the relationship between Korea and Kenya. So all the things that you've been agitating for, the hardships you've been having in Korea, I expect a good amount to be resolved by the fact that our head of state is here and he's going to table some of these issues, and we at the mission will continue to follow them up. Overall, Kenya carries the flag of our country very, very high, from the diaspora to the mission. And I thank you, my fellow diasporans, for really being a pleasure to work with.
Ndugu zangu wa Kenya, hamjambo. Good evening. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. God is good all the time. And all the time. God is good. Thank you very much. We have come here to transact business on behalf of the people of Kenya. We are looking forward to a couple of meetings, and amongst the items that we are looking to discuss with our counterparts here are matters of security and how we can enhance our security posture as a country, how we can build our Navy and other security agencies that will help us not just secure our country, but be able to exploit, much more importantly, as part of the program that we have, the blue economy. That's why, for the first time, I have set up a ministry that will be responsible for our blue economy, because we have huge resources. And this great country has the potential to work with us, either as public or even private sectors, to be able to leverage on the blue economy, to grow our economy, and to create a food secure nation. We will be having a conversation about our technology and ICT and the digital economy in general. Again, I have set up a ministry responsible for creative economy and ICT that again will focus primarily on how we can leapfrog our country from where we are to the next level using technology. Just to let you know, we already have a big program with Korea in Konza City, which is actually our Silicon Savannah, or our technology hub. And we are seeking to build on that platform to elevate to the next level. There are already discussions that have gone on, extensive discussions. We intend, with my visit, to consolidate the discussions that we've already had, so that using technology, we can push our country to the next level. By December next year, all government services will be on a digital platform. You can transact your business. You can pay for your electricity bills. You can pay for whatever you want to pay for, either for yourself or for your loved ones or your parents or your brothers or your relatives, right from wherever you are. You may want to know that only 20%, actually almost maybe less than 15% of government services are on a digital platform. But in the next 12 months, every government service will be on a digital platform to reduce on costs, to reduce on unnecessary bureaucracy. And that is why, if you read our manifesto, we have built into our manifesto an expanded 100,000 kilometers of digital superhighway that will bring on board additional areas. All our schools, I think we have 29,000 schools in Kenya. We've said every school must be connected to the internet. Every market must be connected to the internet. And we are going to work with the private sector and all the public institutions to actualize that. We have a plan on the how. And as you work hard to change your lives here, we will work hard to change Kenya, and hopefully with all of you on board. That's part of the conversation we are going to have with the good people and the government of Korea, because they already have supported us, and we work together on the Silicon Savannah in Konza. Kenya is a big player. You may want to know that we are probably the country in Africa that has close to 90% green energy, and we intend to take it to 100%. And we have a plan on how to leverage our position so that we can attract funds to be able to manage the damage and loss occasioned by climate change. And as you are aware, that's why we have huge drought in many parts of our country, not because of mistakes of our making, but the mistakes of others. And we had a candid discussion in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt on the big subject of loss and damage, which was elusive for the last almost 5 years. But finally, in Sharm el-Sheikh, the final resolution was that loss and damage is going to be quantified and a special fund set up to deal with loss and damage by countries like Kenya, who are paying a huge price, yet contributing very little to the damage that climate change is causing to our globe. My focus is that we have 400 of you, 300 plus or minus in Korea. I am looking forward that the next time I come to Korea, we will have 10,000 Kenyans working here. I know many of you may be planning on how to come home. I am planning on how many more Kenyans can be coming to Korea. So we'll have to meet somewhere in the middle. And I think it's good for you to come home, but for holiday. And then you can come back and continue doing the good you're doing. And I say this specifically because, you have to understand what is your competitive advantage as a nation. As Kenyans, we have the best human capital anywhere in the globe. And we must recognize that. We have the best human capital anywhere in the world. Speaking good English, creative, innovative, hardworking, self-driven, friendly, educated. You rarely get those many qualities in one bundle of a human being, but you get them in Kenya. And it's because of that spirit that Kenyans are different everywhere they go. And because we have a competitive advantage in our human capital, we must leverage on it to make sure that we expand opportunities for our country. I am looking. Today, we are receiving about $3.5 towards $4 billion every year from our diaspora. That's roughly about 400 billion Kenyan shillings. I am looking forward, God willing, in the next 5 years, to push it from $4 billion to $1 trillion. We have the best human capital, and we must use it to drive our country. Therefore, prepare yourselves. We're going to be negotiating tomorrow to see how more of our technicians, more of our engineers, more of our teachers, more of our clinical personnel can find work in the 100,000 foreigners who come and work in Korea. 10,000 Kenyans are not too many. From 100,000, 10,000 ni kidogo. Tunaweza kujikaza na hapo. So, and I will make this deliberate. The Ministry for Labor already has the script on what we need to do, not just for Korea, but for the globe in general. Kenya is now growing to be a big exporter of avocado. We are already the leading exporter of tea. We are the leading exporter of coffee out of the continent. And I was having a conversation with a minister who came to receive me this evening. And I was telling him that the Lipton English breakfast tea and all these other teas that you hear about, those are actually Kenyan teas. the people who are calling it English breakfast, the English themselves, they don't have a single bush of tea. They don't, right? And our position is the following, that we are now going to have a common user facility in Mombasa, in the special economic zone in Dongokundu. As you're all aware, we are exporting 95% of all our tea unprocessed or semi-processed. That is going to change. My position is that in the next 5 years, at the minimum, we must move from 5% of processed tea to 50%. And then in the next 10 years, we should be processing every gram of tea leaving Kenya. That way, we will not only double our value of tea, but we will triple, maybe even quadruple the number of jobs that we create in that space. So we're going to be deliberate about what we are going to do. And I want to promise you that we're going to work together with you guys, continue sending us the good ideas that you have. We will continue to have a robust engagement. We're going to see how we can open channels of communication between your government and the citizens of our great country so that we can build this together. We want to set up a mechanism that is approved and understood by the government of Korea so that we can have opportunities for Kenya to work here legally, you know, in a structured manner, because that is the relationship we want to have with the government and people of Korea. So we will work with the government here to see what opportunities of the 100,000 people who come to work in this great country, what opportunities we can secure, in what areas, in what professional areas, in what other areas we can secure for the people of Kenya who are extremely hardworking and creative and innovative people. So I don't think we will miss the opportunity to agree, because I am very confident myself about the work ethic of the people of Kenya. They have never let us down in terms of being hardworking, creative, innovative, and self-driven. I have several institutions in Kenya that we've been supported by the government here to set them up, and we even build the curriculum so that the curriculum they teach in their technical training colleges here is the same curriculum we are teaching in the colleges they are sponsoring in Kenya. And we are working with them to develop the same curriculum so that we do not necessarily have to send many Kenyans here. They can actually get the training in the institutions back at home.